Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Hopefully I can make it through this video. There's a thunderstorm heading right by us right now, but I checked the radar and it looks like it's just gonna barely miss us. But you can hear, if you may be able to hear, I can, rumbling and thunder off in the background. So maybe I'll be fortunate enough to get through this. Although I can't complain about the rain. We've gotten a good amount of rain in the last couple of days, and I really hope we get more because it was just starting to get a little dry around here. I want to talk today about something that we've talked about frequently on this channel with all this stuff going on with the health crisis and the Great Reset and everything that, well, you all know about. And that's food shortages. Now, I don't want to do this like maybe some other YouTubers where it's all hype. You know, it's coming, the sky is falling. I'm not making any claims that this is most definitely what's going to happen. I am showing you some things that I have been presented with, things that I have found. It does look very compelling that a food shortage, a planned food shortage, I might add, is probably in the works in the coming months, maybe as soon as August. I don't know, so I don't want to, again, get everyone terrified over something, but I think it is worthwhile looking at some of the stuff that's going on and taking precautions for this kind of thing. Food shortages, and especially orchestrated, controlled food shortages, have been something that governments have done in the past all over the world, and they've been doing that in places like Africa and Asia and India. And it looks like it's going to be happening in Europe. Europe is warning people that there could be, food shortages. There's already people talking about, online that live in Europe and in the UK and in Germany, different places in Europe, that they're going to their grocery store and the shelves are really bare. Like they're just not, at least as bad as back in the peak of the health crisis panic, if not worse. That they're just not able to get the things that they need. And I've seen a couple of people online that live in Europe report that they've talked to store managers and stuff, and they've come up, usually giving different excuses. Sometimes it's a, IT problem, some kind of logistics problem for this week's shipment. There's always some kind of problem. But there's definitely some interesting information, or at least compelling argument being made, that this is being done, and the excuse really is going to be and is a driver shortage, a truck driver shortage. We've been hearing about that for a while here in the U.S. over the past 12 to 18 months, and we've been hearing this mantra repeated, we've got a truck driver shortage. And it's starting to kind of look like we could have a food shortage too. So I want to show a video clip. This has been going around the last couple of days online. This is somewhere in Europe. I'm not really sure. It looks to be the UK, but I can't guarantee that that's where it's at. This woman claims that she's with the Sons of Liberty, like a reporter with them. I'm not going to show the full clip because there's a little bit of language in it that I'm going to try to not put on this channel. It's something I just try not to. But this guy is from India, and he's talking about the food shortages, this planned food shortage that, and it's with the truck driver shortage, that they're saying that, there's a shortage of truck drivers all over the world. Isn't it amazing that in every country now that there's this shortage of truck drivers? There's just not enough truck drivers to move things around. There's not enough shipping containers to move things around. And so he's talking about that this is happening. And I want to go ahead and play this for just a second here.
So I think you might want to now hear what this gentleman has to say. He's very well known and versed on this, and I would ask you, sir, to first of all introduce you by your name, and could you speak very loudly?
Okay, my name is Gurchan Singh, and I'm a human rights activist. The reality of food shortages, what is being set up in Europe, is the same what they done in Africa and the same what they done in Asia. The situation is they're deliberately destroying food in transportation and warehouses. The situation is the food is ready. They have both the food from the farmers is rotting in the warehouses and in the trucks. And the cover story they are selling the word is that there is shortage of drivers. And the idea is simple. They want to starve you to death. And I want to make this clear to everybody. If you let them lock you down again, they're going to use the same propaganda they used in Africa and the same they used in Asia. They rot and destroy all the food crops, and what you're going to see is mass shortages of food in your warehouses, and you would be locked down. So if you let them lock you down, you will starve to death.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, now, I don't really know who this guy is. I don't know that what he's saying is correct or not. I'm just putting it out there, okay? He could be just lying through his teeth. He could just be making this stuff up. But there's also, some of the things he said is true, where there's been food shortages in other countries. And a lot of times they use, this excuse of truck driver shortage. There's not really a shortage of food. Farmers are still producing food. It's kind of like meat right now. Farmers are still producing, meat. And if you look at what a farmer is making, a beef producer is making off of their beef, it's not really gone up. They're not making any more money. But yet when you go and buy beef in the store, the price is skyrocketed. Like, oh, there's some mass shortage of beef now. There's just not enough. And so I believe that there's definitely some orchestrated, or orchestration to this panic and this crisis. There's several articles that's been going around just in the last few weeks on this very subject, warning people that, hey, we don't have enough truck drivers. I was looking at one article, and they were saying going back to like 2018 that the trucking industry needed somewhere between 50 and 60,000 truckers just to meet the demands, and they estimate that number now could be well over 150,000, maybe close to 200,000 truckers needed in the industry to keep up with the demand of the movement of supply around the world, around the country. Why aren't there any? I don't know. Or is it true? Is it legitimate that there's just not a lot of people applying for trucking industry? From what I've been reading, that the companies have increased pay quite a bit. Maybe that's not true, or at least they're offering more pay. Or is this something that's truly legitimate? Is this something that's truly, orchestrated? That they're blaming this on the trucking industry. Oh, well, there's just not enough truck drivers out there, and, there's food just sitting in warehouses. I mean, we got it, but we just can't move it. I don't know. I really don't. I'm sure there'll be some truck drivers that will comment in the comment section below. Maybe you know a little bit more than I do, but I don't know. Now, I want to also talk about an email that I received, and I don't know, this may not be a legitimate email. It came from someone that I know online, never met in person, and I believe that this person would not, deceive me, but I don't know that the person that they got the email from was legitimate or not. And basically the email was saying that they have a friend that works for a major grocery store chain, and that they were in a management high level kind of meeting, and they were told not to discuss this with anyone, not to discuss this with the media or anything like that. But their people, their suppliers and stuff are telling them to expect that by August, that their shipments of food will be 50 to 70% less than what they're used to, because there's just not enough stuff out there. There's not enough food. There's not enough truck drivers. They're spreading everything so thin that they said that by August, 50 to 70% less stuff will be on their shelves. And this email said that the meeting basically was how to prepare the employees, because people are going to be upset. People are going to be possibly fighting over that last gallon of milk or that last bag of Cheetos or whatever it is. And so, they were, trying to, brainstorm, figure out, what they were going to do. when the customers start realizing that there's not enough food, and they're going to take it out on the grocery store workers. Is this legitimate? Again, I don't know. I can't with confidence say that this email is factual, but it does fit with the other things that we know about. And I think that we need to be getting serious about getting prepared. We're fortunate here in the United States to always have enough. We have so much that, they say, I've read that 50% of the food that's produced here in the United States gets thrown in the trash, half of our food. There's been, estimates that if America took all that food that we throw in the trash and gave it to the world, we could just about feed, all these poor and starving countries because we produce so much food. Well, there's a lot of factors going on right now we're probably not producing as much food. All these weather things that are happening, extreme heats, extreme dry, extreme cold. There's programs that's been going on for years, but seem to be ramping up once again, where they're paying farmers not to even produce crops. There's been hacking in like the meat industry, and so there's a lot of stuff going on right now, folks. And I've been telling you that for years, for at least 2 years now, that they want control of the food. They know if they can control the food. Henry Kissinger said this. If you control the food, you can control the people. They know that if they can completely control them. There's a lot of other stuff. If you look at the amount of food-related infrastructure, farmland, production facilities and warehouses, processors, meat processors, different things like that are being bought up by China. That's significant also. We've got a lot of farmland that's being bought up by China. We've got farmland that's being bought up by billionaires. We've got, these production warehouses, facilities where they take the raw food and they produce it into, canned soup or whatever it is. And those are being bought up by Chinese companies also, by the CCP in China. This is significant. I watched something the other day, and I'm trying to remember, because I wasn't planning on saying this. It was the governor of South Dakota, and I cannot remember the lady's name. I'm sure you all know who I'm talking about. But the governor of South Dakota was talking, and she was actually talking about this. She's one of the few elected, officials that's talking about this. And she said that, this is a national security issue. Now, of course, you and I know that this is being done in part with the government. The government's involved in this kind of stuff. So you're not going to convince me otherwise. They want this to happen. They want desperation, and they want starvation, and they want a catastrophe so that they can step in with their Green New Deal and their Great Reset and their Agenda 21 and their New World, One World government. That's what they want. But she was, trying to get people to listen that, hey, this is a serious national security issue. We've got, Chinese companies buying up all these companies and buying up farmland, and we've got some serious logistic issues going on with the shipping and the trucking. And, it could get to a point that we are in a desperate, dire need when it comes to our food. So, folks, keep stocking up. If there's anyone listening that thinks, I've stocked up, I've got enough, I don't need to buy any more, well, then you don't have enough. You need to be stocking up on food, but then there's another thing. You need to be learning how to produce your own food. You need to be, getting your gardens out. You should have already had a garden out. Depending on where you're at, maybe you can still plant stuff, or maybe you can get your second planting in, whatever it is. This is serious, folks. And if in fact the grocery stores, just set back for a minute, if grocery store shelves across the country, the amount of food was reduced by 60 to 70%, if the amount of food that is available for you to purchase, and this is restaurants too, is reduced by 60 to 70%, that's apocalyptic in the United States. Now, I'm not saying for a moment that is what is going to happen. I got an email from secondhand knowledge of, someone claiming that it was happening in their grocery store. Maybe it's just that one grocery store. Maybe it's all of them. We don't know. But we also see this, pandemic when it comes to food shortages happening in other countries. And yeah, for years, a lot of people have always said the same thing, what goes on in Europe, that's Europe. There's the crazy Europeans. Oh, it's crazy in China. Oh, it's not us. The current administration has signed on hook, line, and sinker and has pledged to push this Great Reset Agenda 21 stuff with speed and intensity, okay? So the stuff that you're seeing going on in Canada and in Europe, and you think, man, they're crazy progressive socialists and stuff. Well, it's either is happening or will shortly be happening here in the United States, because the current administration is completely on board with all that stuff. That's what they want. They're all buddies, and they're pushing for that kind of stuff here too. So if we're starting to see food shortages, which we are, if you look around in Europe on the grocery store shelves, most likely that kind of stuff is going to start happening here. And since this whole health crisis started, the food shortages has been kind of up and down. Even around here, there are times we may go to the store and everything looks good, shelves are full, and the next time we go and it's really getting thin. And you might say, oh, it's because their next shipment is coming in. Probably true, but 3 or 4 years ago, that almost never happened, at least not around here. The shipment was there and on the shelf before the shelves started to get bare. The shipment didn't come in after 30% of the shelves in the store were bare and empty and they were sold out of stuff. That just never happened 3 or 4 years ago in most of the country. And it's happening now on a regular basis. So if it's that bad now, it wouldn't take much to kind of break the camel's back, so to speak. So stock up, folks. If you're looking for emergency food to stock up on, you'll find a link in the description below to an affiliate company I work with. But whatever you do, I would advise you to continue stocking up. Food prices have gone up too, and that's probably going to affect things too. I mean, the Wall Street Journal just posted this just in the last couple of days about how food prices are skyrocketing just about everything. Restaurants, can't hardly make any money now because the prices of food are just skyrocketing and people aren't paying that extra. They don't want to go out to eat anymore and pay that extra money. So the little restaurants are really starting to hurt. They're going to start hitting us with this food. Inflation's up. Bank of America saying that by the end of the year, we're looking at 8%. They're predicting 8% inflation by the end of the year. And they said that this inflation is going to last for at least another 4 years. So folks, please, take it seriously. Do what you feel led to do. I can't tell you what to do, but I do believe that we're headed for some really hard times, especially when it comes to food. All right, folks, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.